Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in for this Express Flow yoga class at whatever time that it is for you, that you can take a break from whatever else you may have been doing up to now. All of the mental activity, the mind is, its only job is to create problems and solve them. And so it's okay for all of that to be happening as we just separate a little bit from where we may be going next. Um, my name's Kathy, if we haven't met before, and for class right now, nothing that you really need. Something down on the floor. I've got my favorite flat blanket or a towel will do. If you don't have that, we'll work it out. Just something that you might want to have underneath your knees, and for a supported posture that we'll have at the end of the practice. It's a shorter one, not here for a long time, but just for a good time. We're going to start with a little bit of centering. It's a practice that is called stop, look, and go. So the posture that I'm suggesting is the child's pose. And for today, with the knees a little wide, this is going to be a class that's good for the gardening muscles. I wish I could say golf or tennis, but not yet. Same idea, though, lots of twists and shoulder release. Of course, there'll be things going on in the hips. So this is a whole body mind experience. You can let your hands be in front of you. Any position is really fine. Something that's relaxed to start. You might make fists and stack your forehead, or maybe your head does come right down onto the floor. So the knees are wide if that is available to you. And if you don't want to be here on your knees, then you can come onto your back. Just to get into a posture where we're turning inward. That first initiative or invitation is to stop or pause. All that means is that when we do come to the red light, that we actually make the stop, and that brings us into the present. And so we feel our body in the posture, the weight of the bones and the organs, some of the sensations that are occurring, the awareness of breath moving through the rib cage, expanding the lower back. It's like a wave, that movement rises and falls. And then we look. That can be with the eyes open or closed, not to turn the head around, but just to see the visual field of color, another one of the senses that brings us present, or the ground if your eyes are open, solidifying that we're here, even though the mind may be engaged in some thinking and planning. This is here, there's a visual field. Other things may come to your awareness as well, other senses. Anything that's in that realm helps us to be present, the field of hearing, sounds, within and without your space. And so all of that to be able to discern what might be an opportunity for you right now, wherever you're at. If there's something that needs to be released in the body, in the mind, in the organs, joints, some tightness or something gripping, you are better able to feel what that might be. Or an opportunity to move or lean into something that you'd like to develop. The quality of the mind, patience or compassion, or something in the body that needs attention, needs some strengthening. Let's take another breath right there. Good, and then reach the hands forward. Let your hips come up a little bit higher. Crawl the fingers way out there. We'll stretch the backs of the wrists. You might bring your knees a little closer together and soften the chest towards the floor. Let's take a couple breaths, just shifting a little bit forward on the inhale, so it's a long, long table. Exhale, hug the elbows in, let your seat lift up. Inhale, come forward. And then exhale, send the breastbone towards the floor. Walk the fingers a little further if you can. And you can have the forehead floating, or if it comes to the ground, that's fine. Draw the belly in so the low back stays nice and wide. If the forearms are on the floor, you can wiggle your thumbs together and let your hands come to prayer at the back of the skull. Squeeze the elbows towards the skull and lean the weight back a little more for 3. Breathing 3-dimensionally. I like to press my fingertips together, like I'm holding a sphere behind my head. 2. And 1. Releasing the hands. Bringing yourself to tabletop shape. Let's curl the toes under here and do a bit of shifting forward and back, forward and back. So stretch the soles of the feet and then stretching the wrists as you come a little forward. Just a few of those bounces, adjusting so your hands are a comfortable distance from your knees and you're feeling something therapeutic in the wrists. Let's press back towards the heels again and walk the hands back. And bring some weight into the heels there as you flip the palms. And take them a little wide, is more accessible. And bend the elbows and shift again a little forward and back, forward and back. Pressing out to all the fingertips. And then slowly start to tuck the tail. You can just drop the chin in like you're in a little cat round here. And peel the base of the palms up, wiggle the thumbs. And come all the way up with the hands. And then just make a fist here. You can let your elbows hang and do a few slow circles. Still working into the soles of the feet, warming them up. And you can come to stand up higher as you do those circles. Point the knuckles down. Squeeze a little extra. You can tuck your thumbs right inside there and give a good squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Last breath in. And out, release the hands, give them a shake. Come off of your heels and take it back and down and bring the tops of the feet down, stretching out the ankles. Staying there or sitting back towards the heels and looping the shoulders. Bring the fingertips behind the back, puffing up through the chest. Letting the tailbone be heavy and drawing the low ribs down towards the hips. And if it feels good, you could lift your hips there, looking down the body so you're in this drawbridge shape for another breath in. And out. Hands and knees on the inhale. And exhale. Curl the toes under and hover the knees a couple of inches, pressing into the inner palms and spin the soles of the elbows forward. Lifting the underside of the body into the back body. Waking up the legs for one more breath. And then shift through to take a downward facing dog pose. Stepping the legs
Nice and wide and shaking the head a few times. Open and close the mouth, move around through the jaw, stick the tongue out. Exhale a deep bend of the knees. Pushing the floor forward, just the right leg can straighten. And give your hips an extra swing over towards the left. Press forward through the right palm, straightening the right arm. Inhale. Deep bend of the right knee, left leg or left heel just drops a little bit. Swing the hips to the right. Open up the whole left side body with a press through the left inner palm. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Back to center. Inhale. Exhale. Let's bend the knees again and come back to tabletop shape. Let's curl the toes under again here. And this time, have the backs of the hands come to the floor now. Press into the backs of the hands. Stretch out the wrists. You can take your fingers into that little fist if that feels better. Slowly release and come up. Looping the shoulders a couple of times, stretching at the bottoms of the feet once more, both directions. Let's just pause here and take 2 full breath cycles. Taking the arch out of the lower back and growing tall through the spine. Release back to hands and knees now. Tops of the feet come down, sitting back towards the heels again to stretch the ankles, or sit all the way back. And one more time, bring the fingertips behind the back, facing either direction, tucking the tail, maybe lifting the hips. You can look down the body or look towards the ceiling, feeling the whole spine in that nice arc. Exhale, lower, hands and knees. Inhale. Take the left palm a little forward and open up the right arm. Inhale, we'll thread the needle. Exhale, bring the right arm all the way underneath and just come to rest on the right side of the shoulder. Slide your left palm down so it's the left wrist is lining right up with the right forearm or elbow or wherever you can. Just enjoy being in each pose for a few breaths, watching, feeling the sensations of the right side of the lungs do what they do. Let's press the left palm and open up one more time. Inhale. Exhale, place the right palm down. Let's come up on the fingertips and squeeze the shoulder blades together on the inhale. A couple cat and cows. And exhale from this height, or you can use blocks if you have and like. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale. And exhale. This time in the cat, step your right leg out to the side and shift forward and back, forward and back. And come forward as far as you like, as feels good. Or sitting back all the way towards your heel. You can be on fists, palms, or the fingertips as you do that. Keep a lift underneath the right inner thigh. Shifting forward and back one more time. And then just come to shoulders over wrists. Let's take the left palm again a little forward and spin the fingers out and open up the right arm here. And one more time, let's wrap the right arm underneath. You may not come down as far this time. Just breathing wherever you get to. Keep the hips a little lifted, the belly in, and then open that up. Inhale. Exhale, bring the right palm down. Let's lean a little forward into the palms and swing the right leg behind and level out the hips. Pressing out through the right heel and sending the crown of the head forward. And then open up the right hip, so press out through the right heel. Come back to the right fingertips. Wag the left shin off to the side and place the whole right foot down. You can keep the right hand on the floor or reach it up. And if you're up here, you might just explore clearing out some of the space, some of the congestion in that shoulder with a few circles. You can open and close your fingers as well. Stretch them out a little bit of piano type playing. Pressing through the outer right foot. One more breath in. Let's float the right foot up to meet the right fingers, just moving in that direction, and take this balance for 3, 2, and 1. Back to face forward. Let's just take the right knee towards the nose. Exhale. Level the hips and then place the knee back down. Let's take it into a child's pose. Give the wrists a break and relax the arms. And hold on to the fist or clasp the hands together and do a little bit of fidgeting, circle, noodle-like movements there. One more inhale. And exhale back through. Let's curl the toes under and press up and back, downward facing dog. Get a little bit of energy going as we come forward to plank before we do the other side. Up and back, so we pike the hips up and back on the exhale. And then on the inhale, lift the heels and roll forward to plank. Take a breath in there. Knees could be down. And then up and back, downward facing dog. Once more, inhale forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. And shift back to hands and knees. Take the right hand a little bit forward to make some space, and we'll open up the left arm to thread the needle open. Wrap the entire left arm underneath the left shoulder and come to rest there. And slide your right hand down a little closer to the left forearm. Actively press into the right hand. Lifting the hips a little bit. We're keeping that core lift for one more inhale. And exhale, press right palm and open up, inhale. Exhale, bring the, the left hand down. We'll come to the fingertips again. Squeeze shoulders, inhale. Exhale, peel the belly, chin to chest. Just letting the breath lead this movement back into the flow. Breathing in. Breathing out, keeping in that cat shape and stepping the left leg out now. Press the whole outer left foot to the floor. Spinning the left arm open on the inhale. So we go a little deeper into the twist. And then exhale, wrap that arm around and under. You might experiment with sliding the left leg out a little bit further. You won't get too far here. Taking one more breath. A little deeper in the stretch. Thoracic spine. Open it up, inhale. And exhale, bring the left hand down. Fists or fingertips. Bringing the left leg back and around and just finding some balance here. Pressing out through the heel and keeping the whole center line lifted. One more inhale. Wag the right shin to a kickstand and lengthen out, open up the left hip. See that the leg doesn't swing back behind. Light on your left fingertips and place the whole left foot down. You can look back for it to line the arch of the foot up with your right knee. Left fingertips can stay on the floor, underside of the body lifted, or open the arm up for balance. And maybe some of those circles here with the fingers flicking, raindrops, or just opening and closing a few times that palm, releasing the joints, both directions. The digging in the garden, digging in the rich soil, the discovery, or the texting, typing. Reach forward, lift the underside of the body. And then bring the left hand down. Let's have the hips square up again, left knee towards the nose. Bring it back into tabletop shape. Palms press, let's curl the toes under and hips lift high. Downward facing dog for 3, 2, and 1. Let's have the heels come in a little bit so we feel that outer hip stretch. Your heels can be lifted. Let's do that now. Let's lift the heels and bend the knees a lot and walk the hands back in the direction of the feet. So just a wide squat. Come into some heart opening here if you can. It's light on the fingertips. And then pull the hips up and let the heels heavy towards the floor. Head bobs. Inhale into a little squat, any height of the squat. You could be standing up taller. You could just be doing those kind of cat and cow movements at a higher height. One more time as the hips lift up. Let's parallel the feet there and fold over the legs, taking hold of opposite elbows. And shift and shake, bob, wiggle, have a generous bend at the knees. Lots of breath filling the entire body, all the cells. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees deeply and roll all the way up. Reach the arms up. Hook the thumbs, lengthen, and take it up and over to the right. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhaling over towards the left. Let's come back through center. Walk to the front of your mat if you're not there and do a couple of big circles, both arms, exploring the space around. You can bend the knees a little bit as you do that. Just doing some little squats. Let's take chair pose, Utkatasana, dropping in. And then hook the thumbs the other way behind and loop the shoulders down the back for 3, 2, and 1. Belly to thighs and fold. Drawing the chin to chest for one more inhale. Exhale, bring the fingertips to the floor. Come up halfway. We'll step the left leg back and tap the left knee down. Just moving into some more flow. Come up into a kneeling lunge on the inhale. And then let's twist it to the right on the exhale, opening up the arms. Take the left hand to the outer right thigh and spin the right palm to the ceiling as you revolve the rib cage for another inhale. And exhale, both arms reach up. And bring the hands forward and pick up the back knee. Shift some weight into the hands and take it through a plank pose. And tap the knees down and exhale, lower all the way down. Stretch the legs long. Slide the fingers off your mat and a little bit forward to come up on the inhale into gecko. Exhale, lower. Gecko pose on the inhale. Reaching the waist out of the pelvis. And exhale. It's a forward movement more than upwards. Last one, coming down to slide the palms back. Lifting the hips high, downward facing dog. Let's just take a breath in there. And a breath out. Let's reach the left leg up and back. And left knee towards the nose. Stepping the left foot forward and tapping the right knee down. Reach up on the inhale. And exhale, bring the hands down. Just pick up the back knee. Shift a little weight forward and back. And then step the right foot up to meet the left foot as you fold. Exhale. Halfway to lengthen, inhale. Fold over the legs, exhale. Bring the arms up, breath in. And hook the thumbs together. Reaching up and exhale over to the left. Inhale, center, exhaling right. Inhale, center, fly the arms wide, bend the knees, and hook the thumbs the opposite way. Chair pose for a breath in. Exhale to fold over the legs. Let's take another in-breath there. Let it go. Let's bring the fingers to the floor on the inhale. And let's step the right leg back this time. And tap the right knee down. Reach up on the inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, fold. Picking up the back knee. Oh, sorry, let's do the twist. My bad. Let's twist over to the left this time. So opening up the arms, spin the left palm to the ceiling. Let your left outer thigh press into your right hand to deepen the twist for another breath in. And out. Both arms reach up, center, inhale. Exhale, we're moving into plank pose.
Shifting forward on the inhale, and then tap knees, exhale. Lower all the way. Any back bend here, cobra or upward facing dog, or back to that gecko for a few rounds of breath, little waves of vibration. Hands slide back, pressing through table, downward facing dog. One full inhale there. Letting something go, exhale. Let's have the right leg coming long into that three-legged dog again. Right knee to nose, exhale. Stepping the right foot up and tapping left knee down. Just one breath here in that low lunge, inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down, pick up the back knee. Good, we're gonna step forward with the left foot to fold over the legs. Halfway lengthen. Exhale, fold. Let's turn the toes out again and start to drop into that squat. You can take your feet a little bit wider, whatever allows you to get in there. So don't worry if the heels are lifted, just keep them lifted. Find a little bit of that height through the breastbone. And then exhale, round the spine, let the heels come down. Take your seat down. Let the arms go behind and the legs come forward, and just give it a shake out. Let's sit up nice and tall on the front edge of the sits bone, so you can bring in your little bit of height there. Press out through the heels and reach the arms up. Inhale. Exhale. Let's have the palms pressed towards the heart. And extending the heart towards the feet without reaching with the arms. So you may not be coming to any great degree at all. It may just be a nice tall sitting up here. But this is a big stretch for the hamstrings. Press down through the backs of the thighs. It's a variation of a staff pose. One more inhale. Looking down the tip of the nose, exhale. You go ahead and reach the arms up now, inhale. And you might have a bend at the knees. You can decide. We're bringing the hands forward to hold onto the thighs, or reach for the ankles or shins. Continuing to keep lots of breath across the collarbones, letting the head, neck, and shoulders go. Energetically drawing the thigh bones back and in towards the pelvis as the lower back expands. Breath is three-dimensional. Not leaning in too hard and not sitting back to take a nap. Somewhere in the middle. Last inhale. And exhale. Just to walk it up and lean back, give the legs a drum out. Let's take the feet wide. And drop the knees over towards the left and really give a good press into that right shin. Lift your right hip up. Couple breaths there into the hip flexor psoas. And back to center, inhale. And over, second side, exhale. Pressing left shin. Inhale, center. Sit in a comfortable manner. It can be cross-legged, or you can sit in a chair. Not for long, but just to do a little bit, and to release some of the neck, dropping the right ear to the right shoulder and bringing your right hand to the left side of the neck, and give a few massaging movements here as you reach back and pull down and across towards the right. You can look towards the left. And so you're looking to the right a little bit as you reach back with your right hand around the left side of your neck. And then as you're pulling across your chest, you start to look over to the left. It's just like a nice affirmative massage here, looking right as you start, holding the back of your neck, shoulder area, and then looking towards the left. Releasing the right hand, come back to center. Let's drop the left ear over to the left shoulder for a moment. So you can feel that line up and that stretch along the right side of the neck. So take your left hand, bring it around to the right shoulder or the back of the neck if you can reach on that side. So look to the left, look down a little bit and over the left shoulder as you reach back, and then pull on a diagonal, the palm pressing across your chest as you look over towards the right. Let's do that again. So look down on the diagonal to the left, reach around, wrap, and massage some pressure across the chest, the heart there, connecting. Seat of compassion, all of this endurance, all of the lessons. Just having that stop, look before we go anywhere else. Practice through center a couple of times, a couple of half neck circles. Taking in the sensations, the sounds of pops or cracks, tightness, or release. I've got some popping in my ears even. Let's take a breath in there. And exhale, release the legs. Let's bring it down. If you do have a blanket, then you can have it rolled up a couple of times so it's like a shelf, or even a little bit more. It's going to go behind the shoulder blades. But first, let's bring it onto the back and just take a supine twist, both knees over towards the right elbow. So just let your seat swing off the mat. Might get a pop there as well. Arms splay wide. Nothing to be done except allow the body to breathe in this shape. Left knee comes up. Both knees travel over towards the left elbow. So you can let your seat just swing right off the mat. If you need a bit of relief, you can bring that roll or blanket folded between your knees is nice. Splay the arms wide. Soften into this next 2 breath cycles. Good. Bring the knees back to center. Can take a squeeze with the knees. Couple circles or rocks. If you're good to just rest here, that's fine. The knees can be bent and the feet can be wide. Knees coming into touch. Or if you'd like to take that blanket, anything that you have, and just tuck it underneath your seat. So if you have been able to be fortunate enough to get active or be in the garden, then having the legs in an inversion can be a nice antidote to all of the weight of gravity, being on a bike or even just sitting in your chair, reversing the effects of all of that. So with some height underneath your tail, then the legs are up and not having to work too much. You could also slide a chair if you have something like that, or slide up to your couch and put your shins over top of it, or work your way over towards the wall. Slide your bum right up against it. I'm just on my forearms and then legs. You don't want to have dirty feet here. You can come up on the wall. That's one of my favorites. Resting your arms at your sides or just somewhere to stay connected with the lungs as we move into rest here. Letting the eyes themselves drop heavy in the sockets. The biting surfaces of the teeth release. The tongue maybe is more rigidly pressing into some area of your palate. Just let it fall away. Allowing the nourishment to return to the heart. Some appreciation, some gratefulness to this organ, this muscle pump that keeps us alive, to be very simple. That is easy to take for granted. If you have the time and like to continue to rest, please do that. And if you're ready to come back to some movement and carrying on to close the practice, if your hips are up on something, make sure you're just awake and aware of what that might be. Lowering the legs, coming over to one side, and taking the rescue pose. And pressing into your top hand to come back just to take a seat for a moment. Taking in it only takes a few seconds to go through that entire exercise. Just stop. You're present, you're here, the body is here, sitting and knowing that you're sitting. Eyes can be open or closed, see what's here in the room. Get some perspective. Spend a moment before stepping off the mat. Just to see if there's anything that needs your attention, or maybe doesn't need your attention as you move out into the decisions about what to do with the rest of this day. This is a new day. I've never seen it before. Quote from Maya Angelou. Thanks for joining, day or evening. Have a good one. Namaste. Miss you guys. Be well.